My name is Wendy Potloff, and I'm the president of Agoura High Music Boosters. On behalf of the entire Agoura Music program, I'd like to welcome all our new and returning parents. Thank you for joining us this evening in the Zoom. Although we had really looked forward to being able to connect with all of you tonight live and in person and on campus, the school has asked us to hold all of our meetings virtually for the time being. So we're coming to you via Zoom. Hope you enjoy our presentation from the comfort of your own home. The chat feature should be enabled tonight on our Zoom, so if you have any questions, please post them there. Mr. Bloom and Mr. Hackett have promised they will monitor the chat and make sure we answer all of your questions. I'll also just apologize in advance for any technical difficulties. I am definitely no Zoom expert, so thank you for bearing with us. Please note that a recording of this presentation will be available soon on our YouTube channel, and we will send out a notification when that is up. So if people weren't able to see it again, they'll be able to see it on YouTube later on. All right, let's get started. Make sure to stay connected with Agoura High Music. We have many, many ways to do this. Probably the best way is with our website, agourahighmusic.com. It is the best way to get all the latest information about our program, including the current calendar. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Agoura High Music, on our Facebook page, Agoura High School Music Boosters, on our YouTube channel, Agoura High Music, and newly on Twitter, Agoura Music. Look for weekly emails, updates as well. If you or your student haven't already done so, take a moment to follow us on social media. Okay, tonight, here's a preview of what's going to go on. We have a few reminders from our administrative assistant, Melinda Miller. We have news and updates from Mr. Bloom and Mr. Hackett. We have a visit from our Triumph Honors Society board. And then the booster board will present how to support Agoura High Music through donations and volunteering. So here we go. Whether you realize it or not, all Agoura High Music parents and guardians are actually Agoura High Music boosters. So welcome to the club. In addition to all of you, we have a very talented and dedicated board that I'd like to introduce to you tonight. In addition to me, we have our secretary, Yael Rosen. We have our VP of Finance, Arun Iyer. We have our treasurer, John Russin. We have our VP of Volunteers, Michelle Lieberman. And we have our VP of Sponsorships, Cindy Hicks. I'd also like to thank our administrators for their support. Our Assistant Principal of Activities, Ashley Winter, is our main liaison between the music department and the administration. And of course, our principal, Dr. Stephanie McClay. Okay, one very important person to our program is our administrative assistant, Melinda Miller. Many of you have already been communicating with her with activity clearance and other things. She's been working with us and with the music department for the last 6 years, starting her 7th year. In addition, she was also president of the Music Boosters board for 2 years when her now grown sons were a part of the music program. A fun fact about her family is that her son, Mark, who graduated from Agoura in 2014, played in the Top Wind Ensemble at UC Berkeley, and he said it was a breeze, quote unquote breeze, after being in Agoura High Music. Here to tell us more about what Melinda does is our board secretary, Yael Rosen.
Hi, so unfortunately, Melinda couldn't be with us tonight. So Melinda will be your contact for any forms or paperwork you need to get clearance for your student in order to participate in school activities. She also keeps our class rosters, and she's the one who sends you the official music department emails most of the time. Every once in a while you might hear from the directors, but a lot of communications will be coming from her. She is your point person for any trips or travel that may be happening. If your students ensemble is fortunate enough to be able to go to a festival, which we're still hoping for. She makes our concert programs and orders and prepares senior awards. Melinda had a few reminders she wanted us to share with you. Please make sure you've completed the registration/clearance for your student. More information is on our website, which is listed on the slide, the top slide right there. If your student is in marching band, they do have to have a sports physical, so they have to be cleared in order to participate in marching band. So please make sure you get that to Melinda right away. And the registration is a quick process. Every student has to be registered, but only marching band students need the medical clearance. And music students, regardless of which class they're in, cannot participate in any out of class rehearsals, games, or performances until they have that clearance. If you have any questions, that's Melinda's email right there at the bottom.
Great. Thank you, Yael. Next up, we have our beloved directors, Mr. Chad Bloom and Mr. Bob Hackett. So I will stop my screen sharing to allow Mr. Bloom to share.
Well, I'm going first. All right.
Yes, or Bob, either one, Mr. Hackett or
Bob.
Mr. Bloom.
I was gonna wrestle you for it. That's okay. Well, okay, let me get my. Well, good evening, greetings, and welcome to the family. We have this awesome Boosters Association who make our dreams become reality, especially this year, as you will be finding out in this meeting, led by the incredible Wendy Potloff. I'm starting my 33rd year of teaching and my 9th year at Agoura. I'm honored to be teaching alongside Mr. Chad Bloom. Our students go to college. Our students are the most dedicated students on campus. They are quite talented and they are highly motivated and they get the highest marks in their classes. This year I teach marching band, Wind 2. Actually, Mr. Bloom and I are co-teaching Wind 1 and Wind 2. Wind Honors, Orchestra. I co-teach that with Mr. Bloom. Studio Gold, Jazz A, B, and that's a co-teaching group also. And I also teach at A.E. Wright Middle School, the jazz band there. Last semester I trained in the IB certification along with Mr. Bloom. And we are working, mainly he is, because he's the most organized with that. He is working on the structure of IB and getting that information out to the students. Happy to be back in person with our students. Students are happy, they're engaged, they're building teamwork and camaraderie, and they're smiling through their masks. We can see that and feel that. It is so much fun this year. Our philosophy is to provide a well-rounded education in a positive, encouraging, nurturing, and thriving environment. Our students have chosen to participate in this fine program, and it is our responsibility and duty to provide the most emotionally and intellectually environment structured as possible. These students have been through a lot the past year and a half. We appreciate and respect them all. These students make us better versions of ourselves. Marching band, it is part of Wind Ensemble 1 and 2. Our marching band parent leader is Michelle Meehan, and we also have the wonderful emeritus assistance from Cindy Hicks. The Blue Crew Marching Band plays at all home football games as well as 3 or 4 basketball games. The Blue Crew also rehearses on Tuesday afternoons this fall, plus a few extra days as outlined in the 2021-2022 Blue Crew information sheet. Band night is coming upon us on October 29th. That is a change. All home football games and practices are on the calendar. We also play at the CBI game. The date will be announced. It's usually early to mid-second semester. And we play at other events, rallies, anything that we're asked to do that is reasonable to put together. Also, the Wind Ensemble concerts they play at with Wind Ensemble 1 and 2. Jazz A and B have gotten up to a great start also. Jazz theory, soloing, and ensemble performance are all part of the curriculum. The jazz bands perform at concerts, Rhythm and Choose, which you'll be hearing about, and quite often at jazz festivals. Studio Gold and Blue personnel are being auditioned this week, and the sections will be filled soon. These are high-level ensembles that play at the collegiate level. The members of these bands normally are juniors and seniors who have worked their way up from the jazz A and B bands. There are a couple of younger students in there, and they are the exception to the rule, but they're at that level. All of our jazz bands are in place due to the outstanding programs at our main feeder schools, which are A.E. Wright and Lindero Canyon Middle Schools. We will audition probably for Ellington as soon as we find out more about it, and we are considering the Ellington Regional in Las Vegas, maybe even doing a Reno Festival performance. Orchestras and wind ensembles are highly renowned at Agoura. These are high-level ensembles also that have traveled to New York, San Francisco, Boston, Chicago, and New Orleans over the past 8 years. We will tentatively also play at a local festival. We were scheduled to do Santa Susana High School's festival for the bands and the orchestras in March 2 years ago. Got canceled 2 days before because of the pandemic. Rhythm and Choose, there'll be more on that from our boosters. It is a new date. The Saturday will be all district jazz bands plus the community jazz band. This is a fundraiser for the whole department, not just a jazz fundraiser. And we do need to raise funds this year, right? This will be a planning year for the next big concert trip, which hopefully will be in a year. And that is all due, according to protocols, but maybe having a small trip in-state this year to be determined. Tri-M is our student leadership club led by Jax Cooper-Smith. Now, our numbers are a little bit lower this year than they were last year, but I want to tell you we are very healthy this year compared to other schools, and that's because of the commitment and investment of everyone in this district, from students to administrators to staff to parents. We have 260 students approximately, so it's very nice. And there are many school districts in this, or schools in this area that are not even half that many students right now. So that is my portion of the presentation. I want to thank you all for allowing us the opportunity to work with your sons and daughters, and it is an honor and a privilege. Mr. Bloom?
Thank you, Mr. Hackett. I just wanted to, I'm Mr. Bloom. I work this year, I'm working with choir, studio jazz, wind ensemble 1. Mr. Hackett and I co-teach orchestra and jazz A and B. And just kind of bouncing off what he said here is our retention rate was excellent last year. You would think that an art form with the most restrictive things put on you, where we could barely hear each other over Zoom for 75% of the year, you think people would be running for the hills, but we were really fortunate to have many of our starting kids still continue. And I've always said it to the freshmen who have arrived this year. We want to welcome our new families to the program. What a testament to all of our freshmen who are joining us this year, who for a year and a half didn't have maybe a concert that they did at the middle school levels. So we're really proud of continuing the Agoura tradition, the Agoura High music tradition. And while we can't promise everything because of the current situation with the health orders and restrictions, we're going to do our best. Mr. Hackett and I work as much around the clock as we can to provide the highest quality music education, regardless of what's going on. As you might have seen already on an Instagram post or somewhere, I'll show you a picture in a minute. We are outside, and when we're outside, we're outside because we're not able to be indoors. When the time comes that we are able to be indoors, we'll definitely be letting people know. We are adjusting to the current environment that we're in, and we're having fun with it. We're in an auto shop right now. We have 2 giant tents coming from the district. The district has supplied PPE, bell covers, which we use at all times outside. And then people have been provided with instrument playing masks, which they also have the option to use outside. So we're just in the start of the year. we're doing a lot of things that we would normally do in the spring. We're doing them at the beginning of this year because we were so restricted in the cohorts in last spring. While we were able to pull off a concert last spring, which was awesome, we have pretty much pushed all the auditions and things that we normally do to now. So in the next couple of weeks, we're getting the groups together, and I'm really excited to finally have that happen and have our grade books ready to go. You might notice on Aries right now, if you're a parent, there's nothing there, and we're not going to put anything there until we have everything situated. There'll be barely any schedule changes, probably one or two at the very most, but everybody's going to be staying right where they are. Mr. Hackett did mention a little bit about IB music, and over the course of the next day or two, I'm going to be talking with every junior and senior about the specifics of IB music. We'll be sending an email out that has the information about how that applies to juniors, because it applies a little differently than it does to seniors this year. One of the benefits of teaching IB music, this being our first year, is that the IB recognized that there's a lot of challenges with the COVID restrictions, and they took away a couple requirements that would normally have to be taught. So this is allow us to teach all juniors and seniors the same content for 1 year. So I could go forever about IB, but I'll wait to put that information out in the next couple of days. That's a whole nother info session, which we're giving in the classroom right now. The next thing that I'm doing that I didn't describe in my class load is something called Agoura. I'm going to put, instead of share my screen and show it with everybody, I'm just going to put the website address into the chat. And if a student is interested in doing some like extracurricular singing outside of the music classes they are in, this is a group that I started maybe in 2014, in 2018, 19 to 20. Miss Beal, who was with us, took over the group. And now that we're finally back and out of the Zoom school, we're getting it started again. So it's open to all members of the school and music department, and I put that right into the chat. You might have to copy that and put it into your own browser. But that's just information. I'm estimating that everyone here is already activity clearance cleared. However, if you for some reason are not in the music program already, you do have to get cleared to be a part of that group and do any rehearsals outside of school. Let's see. I will show one thing to all the parents about the IB music really quick. And in the next couple days, we'll be putting this to all the junior, senior classes. And you can see that they're going to tell us what class they currently are in. And then they're going to select the IB course that they might be headed to. So if you're a senior, the best thing that you can choose is Wind Ensemble. If you're in Wind Ensemble, for instance, IB Music Group Performance SL. That's the highest level IB we can offer you in 1 year of teaching. However, if you're a junior, if you could get the higher level certificate by taking the HL1 this year. And once that train leaves, if you don't sign up for the HL1 this year, you're out of luck next year if you want to all of a sudden add the HL1 in. So I would recommend that everybody who thinks that they have any inkling of doing it, just select as a junior the HL1, and all seniors select Group Performance SL according to their group. And one of the really amazing things about the IB Music program is that this is being offered not just to one discipline, it's being offered to everybody across the whole program. So if you're an orchestra, choir, an ensemble, or jazz ensemble, you get to participate. I sent a letter out on August 26th, just talking about music program safety. And I already mentioned that a little bit. If you didn't get that email, you could send me the email. You can send me an email and I'll forward it to you. But Miss Melinda Miller put that out on August 26th about that. And I thought I would just have some fun and show you what's been going on here. So There you can see on our Instagram. Oh, it won't let me blow it up there. There's the little auto port that we're currently in and rehearsing under with some shade. You can see there's the marching band, the first football game, and our Agoura Pella interest meeting. So it's always fun to follow the Agoura High music program on Instagram if you would like to. Stop the share. So I know a lot of people will be looking forward to the IB info. It is too much to go over right now, but I will definitely be going over it with kids in class, and I will send the IB music document out to parents, which is a work in progress. This is our first year. We appreciate all your patience just figuring out exactly what everything looks like, and we will be getting the kids moving on that soon. I think that's all I have to report.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bloom and Mr. Hackett. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. We're going to get ready for we have a special group of kids who have joined us tonight, the Tri-Am board, and they have a short presentation they're going to give us. So take it away.
Thank you, Ms. Pavlov.
You're welcome.
Hello, Agoura High music parents, and welcome to our music program. I am Jax Coopersmith. I am the president of Tri-Am here at Agoura. I am in both the wind and jazz bands here, and I have been accompanied today by two other board members, Aditya Iyer and Ella Magan, and we'd love to show you who we are. So next slide, yes. So Tri-Am Music Honor Society is a national organization with chapters all over the country, and we have one here right at Agoura High School. And here at Agoura, we want to spread music throughout our community and make a safe space for your kids to play music and have fun. That's what we want, especially with COVID. That was a rocky road. We want to create a little sanctuary where kids can have a home away from home. So I'm now going to pass this on to my compatriot, Aditya Iyer.
All right. Hello, I'm Aditya. As Jax mentioned, I am in the orchestra. I play violin. I've been in orchestra for 4 years and part of the music program, and I'm board member on this year's Tri-Am board. And so our plans for this year, we have a lot of plans for this year that are really exciting, and we want to make it so that people who might not necessarily have been able to be involved in the music program as much, for Tri-Am, obviously because of COVID, everything was online last year, and things were just generally really difficult. So we want people to have as many opportunities as possible to showcase their musical abilities and just have fun with music generally, in many different ways. You can perform. There'll be lots of performance opportunities. We'll have concerts at school, smaller concerts and maybe slightly larger ones. There'll be casual, and there are all sorts of different environments. So people can really play wherever they feel comfortable, and they can do things with their peers, other music students. So it's a really great way to just get into the music program as a whole and meet other musicians and just really get involved. We also might have other opportunities as the year progresses for you to play, possibly helping other musicians play and working with other musicians to improve your own musical ability in others and really just improve your own knowledge. And as I said, the biggest part is really just meeting people, making new connections, and just enjoying yourself, really getting into the music program and strengthening your connections.
Hi, I'm Ella again, and I am a cellist in our orchestra. I've been part of the orchestra for 4 years, my 4th year. I also play in Wind Honors. And I'd like to talk to you guys about some of the social aspects and what the club actually entails. Our meetings take place every other Wednesday in J3 at lunch. And the events range from discussing upcoming events, performance opportunities, other news throughout the community that includes competitions, local concerts, scholarships, playing opportunities like Aditya mentioned, and more events both inside and outside of school.
All right, this is our board. So you've already met Jax, who is the president, and Ella, who is the vice president. We also have Yuna Herman, who is the other vice president. I'm the coordinator this year. We have Garrett Kachaturian, who is our secretary for this year. Dean Gidari, our historian, and Yale Coopersmith, our treasurer. The main thing that we just wanted to show with the board is that it's completely student run. And obviously, while our directors play a big part in enabling us to have the club and allowing us to run all facets of the club, it's mainly student run. And so people should really feel comfortable. Students should feel comfortable if they have any questions or just to get involved in the club. It's not run by some people that they're never going to see. It's run by other people just like them, fellow students who they'll see all around campus and be able to talk to at any time.
So we want you to spread the word. Tell your kids, tell their friends, everyone's welcome who's part of the musical community. Instrumentalists, singers, anyone you think that would enjoy. The club is open to all instrumentalists. We welcome you. And we hope you enjoy the music program and everything that our club has to offer and, you know, everything that we include. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Ella, when is the first meeting this month? When's the first meeting?
Actually, I think Jax should answer that question. I think it's in a couple weeks, but Jax, can you take the floor on this one?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ella. So as of now, we are planning to have our next club meeting next week, which is really exciting. We will hand out more information on that really soon. So if you want to stay up to date on our club, please check us out on Instagram. Our Instagram is right there. So additionally, our Remind is a very important thing to have at Agoura High School, especially because multiple organizations and entities use that to keep in contact. That is our website. And we also have the YouTube channel, which we've been uploading videos of performances of student musicians here at Tri-M. And we will put both of those links in the chat for your viewing pleasure. Thank you so much to all of you for listening to us and have an amazing night. Welcome to Agoura High Music.
Thank you, Tri-M. Parents, please encourage your kids to join Tri-M. You can tell they have a lot of energy and a lot of fun, and it's a great group, and we're really lucky to have them. It's a great program at our school. Your kids will not regret joining it. And we also have a link to their website on our website, if just in case you need to get in touch with them that way. All right. So now we'll go into the main body of the Boosters presentation. What is the goal of the Agoura High Music Boosters? It's simply to support our music students and the music directors, and it takes all of us. But we need your help to sustain this successful program. We are a nonprofit 501(c)(3), so we are successful by doing two things, through funding and through volunteers. Let's talk about money. First off, what would the Agoura High Music Program look like without funds from the Music Boosters? Many of us don't exactly know who pays for what in the music department, and this may be especially true for new families. Agoura Music is a well-oiled but complex machine with lots of moving parts, and it takes a lot of support to keep it running. So in simple terms, without booster money, the department would look a little bit like this. This is simplistic, but without additional funds from the boosters, the program would pretty much have our beloved directors and the classrooms And this year, the district has provided music PPE and tents. But with a booster money, it looks very, very different. So what does Agoura High Music look like with funds from the music boosters? This is what it looks like. We get to have all these other things: sheet music, class sections, guest clinicians, music specialists, our program assistant, marching band, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a very full program with the booster money. So where are the main places that your money goes? There are two major areas that provide for a vibrant and growing music program. Every year, much of the money goes towards specialists and professionals who work directly with our students. But this year in particular, the boosters are funding 2 music sections. So let's get a little more specific. Our 2 main expenses directly benefit our students in meaningful ways. Most of our expenses this year are going towards funding 2 sections of music. Music specialists and professional guests and clinicians to work with all groups make up the second largest expense. As I mentioned, a major change for this year is the music booster funding of 2 class sections. So what does this mean in practical terms? What it means is that this year we have a total of 10 performance classes. It means that all levels of jazz and orchestra have their own sections. So we don't have a combined jazz A, B, or a combined orchestra 1, 2. Every class is taught by Mr. Bloom or Mr. Hackett, who meet the needs of our musicians at each level instead, and that's as opposed to having a coach or a specialist lead the class. So since funding 2 sections is a first for us, let me explain the why and the how of this decision. So why? Well, because our kids are worth it and they deserve it. With a return to campus for our children, our booster board agreed that we should do everything we could to ensure the best return to campus environment for our musicians. That meant making sure music levels had their own dedicated class taught by either Mr. Bloom or Mr. Hackett. It meant jazz A and B did not need to be combined into one class, nor did orchestra 1 and 2. As you well know, our music students are coming out of a year and a half of distance learning where most of their music classes have been over Zoom and not in person. Despite the heroic efforts of Mr. Hackett and Mr. Bloom last year and a short period of time at the end of the last school year, the kids have lost significant in-person playing time and the focused attention of their directors live and in person. You just can't replace practicing together as a group, and our musicians have suffered real pandemic learning loss. So by funding 2 music sections, the boosters made sure smaller classes survived and were not combined. Many of our students were just beginners when COVID hit. For example, a new freshman this year at Agoura in Jazz B was just a beginning jazz student in 7th grade when COVID hit. Likewise, some of our 12th grade orchestra students are now embarking on their senior year and are quite advanced and may be pursuing IB music. So it just didn't seem fair that we should be putting beginning and advanced students in the same class. Also, as you know, your child's music class is so much more than just a class. I heard from so many kids that the best thing about being back on campus last spring was to get to play music together in person. It was really sometimes the reason they wanted to come to school. Music is often their favorite class of the day and the one where they are in there with their friends and they can express themselves creatively and have fun. And our kids have been through a lot since March 2020, when school closed. Many have experienced isolation, lack of interaction, and disconnectedness. Our music classes do so much for the social and emotional health of our kids, and the boosters wanted to make sure we supported this. So we saw no better way to help address their pandemic learning loss and their social emotional well-being than to allow the students to return to a full and vibrant music program. By doing so, the directors will be allowed to meet the current needs of the students at their level today and take their skills beyond for tomorrow. So that was the why. And now we should ask how. How are we going to do this? Well, we're going to pay for this because we can, and mainly because of you, the parents. Because of your loyal and generous giving last year, combined with fewer expenses due to distance learning, we have been enabled, this enabled us to meet our budget goal for last year. Thank you. This generosity put us in a position to consider paying for 2 sections of music, something we've never been able to do before. So this year, reserve funds will cover one of the sections, and with your continued financial support, we will pay for the second section. So just how are we going to do this? It's a very good question. Well, it takes all of us. It takes parents and it takes the community. And as always, we are very dependent and thankful for the parents who give to our donation campaign, which makes up the biggest portion of where we get our income. We also are looking forward to making money off of ticket sales because we are going to play in person this year. And we're having our big fundraiser, Rhythm and Choose, which will return this year in the spring. We're also very thankful for grant support from the cities of Westlake Village and Agoura Hills. And as I mentioned before, one of the class sections will be paid from our reserves. So just to compare to past years, our budget was in 1920 was 107,000, and this including funding for an additional music class. In 2021, we had a much smaller budget of 58,000, and that was during distance learning. And then this year, we're up to 116,500, which includes paying for 2 sections. So to date, how are we doing? Well, as of today, for the parent donation, which is $35,000, we have been given $15,000. So we are 44% of the way there. Thank you very much, parents who have given to that fund. Overall, our funding tells a little bit of a different story because of our 116,500 today, we only have about a little over 15,000. So we do have a long way to go for this year. But we are ready to meet those challenges, and we know everybody can depend on each other to meet those. So there are many, many ways, both big and small, to donate to Agoura High Music. As I've mentioned before several times already, the donation campaign is a very important way for parents to support Agoura High Music. This is our general parent fund. We kick off during back to school time and continue throughout the year. So thank you if you've already given to that. We have a suggested donation of $275 for one class, $400 for 2 or more classes. This is the same amount that it's been for at least the last 3 years, maybe even longer. Of course, any amount is appreciated. It accounts for 30% of our fundraising. This can be made in installments over the course of the year. If your employer offers a matching gift program, we would love for you to take advantage of that. Several of our families do that. Of course, donations are tax deductible, and information about all of this, although it's already been sent out, will be sent out again, and it's available on our website under the donate or the fundraising tab. So another great way to donate to Agoura High Music is through sponsorships. So here to tell us about sponsorships is our Vice President of Sponsorships, Cindy Hicks. Take it away.
Well, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Sponsorships are also a really great way for us to raise money. And what that is you can advertise your family or do a shout out for your student on our friends and family sponsorships. We're going to be sending out emails to the parent body with emails of what you can get for the family and friends sponsorship. We also have for businesses, if you have a business or know somebody locally or even not locally who has a business, there's several sponsorships that they can do, whether it's for the entire year for one price or for at a discount, or they can do individual series for the for January, spring, and the finale. You can get for the entire year at a discount, or you can buy a la carte for a different amount. Emails are going to be going out to the families, and we also have a list of businesses that we're going to send emails out to them. And hopefully in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And we have websites to put logos on and programs at our in-person concerts. And hopefully it's going to do the trick of getting us to our goal by the end of the year. And I think that's it for sponsorships.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we'll also be offering sponsorships for Rhythm and Choose in the spring. And there's lots of stuff you can get for that: festival booths, VIP parking, concert tickets, and more. And yes, thank you, Cindy, for sharing that with us and for coming on the board to manage sponsorships this year. All right. Now our secretary, Yael Rosen, is going to share several other great ways to donate to the music program.
Hi again. So as Wendy said, we have a variety of ways in which you can support the Music Boosters, and we hope you'll find the ways that are the most meaningful to you and support as many as possible. Here we have some samples of our spirit wear. In the top left and bottom right corners are our traditional embroidered spirit wear, which I believe our sale for that has concluded. That's our once a year fall spirit wear. And there's some other samples here of spirit wear we've sold over the years, and we come up with some fun, innovative designs, and look for that because we will be selling more ways for you to show your spirit. And those are a great fundraiser for us. We also participate because we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are on the Amazon Smile program. They give a small amount to us for every purchase you make. So that's a great help to us. And we all, let's face it, are on Amazon all the time shopping. So there's more information on our fundraising tab of our website, but that's a very easy way to help support us. And that's a great thing to ask grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, friends. It doesn't cost you anything, and Amazon just gives us a little bit of each purchase that's made through the program. We love restaurant fundraisers. Everyone loves to get together, and it's a great social opportunity to go with friends or just to grab takeout if that works better for you. Every once in a while, you might even see a music director there picking up some food. Our first one this year will be at Panda Express on September 28th. We're going to have one restaurant fundraiser per quarter this year. So this is the one to go to, our first one. So don't miss it because there aren't going to be very many. So save the date for September 28th and more information will be coming. Another way to support us, a sweet way, is through our annual C's Valentine fundraiser. That will be starting in January. It's a great way to get gifts for anyone who's on your sweetheart list. You can definitely ship those off to college students, relatives who don't live locally, or just get a great stash for yourself to hide from everyone else. But more information will be coming soon on that one. And as you have heard, we have a big annual festival called Rhythm and Shoes. It is a fun community celebration. It's an outdoor music festival. And we have been very, very fortunate to partner with all of our LVUSD bands, both middle school and high school bands. And we also get the Agoura community band coming and playing. And it's just a fun day outside, great music, lots of people, food. We have an auction. It's just a fun day. Normally it's in the fall. This year we had to move it to the spring. So this is going to be a new version of Rhythm and Shoes, but we're all very, very excited about it. And this is a very important fundraiser for us. And there are lots of ways to get involved, which you'll be hearing about soon. And finally, I think this is finally, we are planning a GoFundMe campaign. And this is a great way for extended family and friends to help support our music program. And of course, for you to help support the music program too. And there'll be more information coming on that soon, but GoFundMe is a great thing that you can post on your own, repost on your own social media, or forward the link to anyone you know who might want to support your students' musical endeavors in high school. And I think that's it for me.
Yes, great. Thank you, Yael. I appreciate that. Okay, although donations are very important to the success of the music program, an equally important part are our volunteers. And here to tell us about ways to get involved through volunteering is Michelle Lieberman, our VP of Volunteers.
Hi, guys. As you can see on the slide, there are a variety of opportunities and ways that as parents, you can be involved in our program, whether it's working with students, helping to raise money, assisting in performances. What it does is it gives our directors the space to do what they do best, which is focusing their time on our students, giving them the gift of music education, while we can pick up the pieces that sort of make everything whole. So we can work behind the scenes and we can find ways to fill gaps that are needed in a way that most parents can just give a little of their time here or a little of their time there. So we're hoping that when you receive your Google form, which will be coming out in the next couple days, there will be a whole variety of options that you can choose from. Rhythm and Shoes, press releases, if you're into photography, marching band volunteers, the list goes on. Sign up for as many or as little as you'd like. The more we have, the better off we all are. So when you get that, go through, there'll be a description of all of the options. You can just check off if you're interested. It will auto-generate for me a list of all of our volunteers and the areas of interest. And then once we have that, you will hear from either myself or another board member or a co-chair of an event, so that we can use your resources to the best of, to everybody's advantage. Mostly we just want you guys to give a hand when you can, feel like you're a part of the program, because it does take a village, and we appreciate your support and your generosity. And that's it.
Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate it. All right. Thank you to everybody who was here tonight and to everybody who joined in and shared information. We hope we answered many of your questions, and please keep in touch. Our emails are all listed there. And remember that back to school night is Monday, September 13th. Also, it will be virtual. So if you didn't get questions answered tonight, you can also bring them up then. And I just want to thank you for your support and look forward to joining with everybody this year at Agoura High Music. Thank you.